everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, June 27th, 2021. How about a round of applause for the new creative director of Marquette International? 3 cheers for Summer Newman! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Well, contrary to the popular opinion, I am so glad that Summer took that job, because if Summer had not taken that job, then we would have missed out on the agonizing moment where she pushed Kyle away, lied to him, told him that she didn't love him anymore. And if Summer hadn't taken that job, we also would have missed the tears streaming down his face as she said that she was leaving him and leaving Genoa City. And we also would have missed the bewilderment on Phyllis and Nick's face at Summer's latest announcement. Oh, the wedding's on. No, the wedding's off. Now the wedding's back on, and it's fast-tracked. No, wait, it's off again, and she's moving to Italy. Oh, but last, certainly not least, if Summer had not taken that job, we would have missed the look of hidden delight on Tara's face as she moved in for the kill, ready to heal, to nurse Kyle's wounded heart. Oh, yes, my friends. Summer made exactly the right choice in taking that job to give us the drama that we crave even more than Mrs. Martinez's oatmeal raisin cookies. Summer did try to plead with Tara to be reasonable, saying, "We can all coexist. I'm not a threat to you." But Tara tells Summer that she is not bluffing. Either Summer leaves town or Tara will with Harrison. Tara's game is good. You gotta admit, her game is good. Tara gives great lip service to absolutely everyone, and no one suspects her. Tara flew right under Phyllis's radar without Phyllis suspecting a thing. That, in and of itself, is a feat of genius right there. Oh, Phyllis told Nick that she thinks Tara is nuts, but nuts does not even begin to cover it. It goes way beyond nuts. Summer vague chatted Phyllis about the whole thing early in the week, but Summer also stayed strong in her decision that leaving Genoa City forever is what's best for Kyle. I do wonder, though, if Summer was secretly wanting Phyllis's help. I wonder if Summer secretly wanted Phyllis to figure it all out and put a stop to Tara. Because, yes, it's absurd that Summer gave in without a fight. Summer just gave her life away. Summer just handed her life to Tara on a silver platter. But Summer's reasons are her own. She's entitled to them. And the surprising strength of the story here is that from anyone's outside perspective, Phyllis, Nick, Jack, Summer's position is completely understandable. These two have broken up a dozen times, and this time everyone knows that Summer got more than she bargained for with Kyle. Maybe she has the right to change her mind, given the major shift in priorities that Kyle has had. The life that Summer thought she was buying into wasn't the life that it was going to turn out to be. So who could blame her? Maybe it's better to call it off now rather than later. But for Kyle, this came out of absolutely nowhere. Kyle told Jack this week, "We don't even order dinner without discussing it first." When Summer finally told Kyle about the Milan job and the reason that she wanted to take it, she lied. Summer told Kyle that she was taking the Milan job because she didn't want to stand in the way of him developing a relationship with his son or resenting her for making him choose between her and his son. And Summer told Kyle that she sees him and Tara getting closer, and she wants to give him a chance to make a family with Tara and Harrison. But Kyle didn't see any of that coming. Kyle's not looking at Tara like a mate. He doesn't want to have a family with Tara. He wants to have a family with Summer. So to Kyle, everything that Summer has said so far kind of makes her seem insecure. And so Kyle foolishly thinks that there's going to be something that he can do to reassure Summer. He foolishly thinks at this point that there is anything that he can do to stop it. But what Kyle doesn't know is that Summer's entire argument is based on a lie. Tara's lie, which Summer, for better or for worse, is willing to keep. With Harrison toddling around the Abbott mansion, Tara has managed to root herself deeply into the Abbott family already. Jack was talking to Tara about the Abbott family this week. The great father, John Abbott, the less than great mother, Dina Mergeron, and Jack was welcoming Tara into the family. And he seems charmed by Tara and by Tara's story, which, by the way, this week included a little tidbit about her having dead parents. Father was a banker, mother was a painter. They had a happy home life, but the parents died when she and her brother were adults. Brother and her are nothing alike. They're estranged. Okay. Somebody is going to have to pull that mystery out of the woodwork. Will it be Phyllis? Both Phyllis and Jack have mentioned recently how Diane used Kyle to drive a wedge into their marriage. So Phyllis, with any self-awareness at all, should be wise to Tara's game. But I don't know. I'm kind of wondering if Sally is going to be the one to dethrone Tara. Sally lured Tara into this whole plan. Maybe Sally will be the one to throw her out. Those two are partners for now, and their plan has worked for now. But how long will it be before they turn on each other? Sally has been seen with Jack twice this week, and Jack seems to be warming back up to Sally. Sally tells Jack she's doing great. She's living life and loving that new waterproof Jabot mascara. Well, Sally's gonna need some waterproof mascara if Tara tries to blow up her spot. I don't know. It could be Sally versus Tara in the end here. Sally told Tara that she has genuine feelings for Jack, which to a woman like Tara just means that Sally revealed a weakness to her. I don't know. I'm waiting for these two to go head to head. Sally and Tara together managed so far to get Summer out of the way. How hard would it be for either one of them to turn around and do the same thing to the other? Ashland accepts Victoria's deal to merge Newman Enterprises and Locke Communications into one company, and Ashland introduces Victoria to Harrison. Victoria gives Harrison some kid tips on being at the Abbott Mansion from when Johnny and Katie go there to visit their Uncle Jack. It's all about the frogs, apparently, at the Abbott grounds. I don't know. Can you even really imagine Victoria Newman thinking that it's funny that Johnny tried smuggling a frog home in his pocket? I would imagine that Victoria would be like, Ribbit, get rid of it. No. Then again, this is Soap World, so I'm just going to instead imagine Victoria laughing at Johnny while he's got this muddy pocket frog, while she just stands there with her perfect hair and her perfect skin and her perfect makeup wearing her perfect white dress. That's how I imagine that scene actually went down. Well, Billy and Lily agree on one thing about Victoria. They have got to run this story about the Locke divorce, even though Victoria will be caught in the middle. It would just be bad business for them not to run the story, right? It would just be bad to not pursue it with responsible investigative journalism, right? Well, Billy takes it upon himself to give Victoria the heads up about this story, but Victoria just scoffs. She says, "Oh, there is a story about me and Ashland, but I'm not going to give it to you yet." Meaning, Victoria thinks that she's about to announce this incredible merger deal that will bring accolades upon her, that will make the business world say ooh and ah, but will make Victor moan and groan. I don't know, though. I think Victoria is going to end up getting more than she bargained for when it comes to this deal. Billy warned Ashland himself this week that he had better not cross Victoria. He had better not hurt Victoria, which increasingly is seeming like a premonition to me. I think that Billy is being painted like the jealous ex right now, as Ashland is being painted as the charming hero. But I think we're going to find out that Billy is right and Ashland is no hero. I think that Ashland is lying and that he is playing Victoria. but it is so much fun along the way. I really like Ashland, despite it all, despite the fact that I increasingly don't trust him. I really enjoy him. I liked his flippant response to Billy. Ashland just kind of joked it off, which is pretty much the only response that you can really have with Billy. It's the only response that really works on him. Adam and Nick did the same thing this week. Billy stopped by Newman Media to deliver a bottle of champagne. No, wait, I mean a bottle of bubble bath that looked like it was packaged in a wine bottle. I feel like Billy got a pretty good deal on it. He got a lot of bubble bath for the $6.95 that he said he paid. So I'll give him that. But Billy told Nick and Adam that it was guaranteed no more tears, for the war that they're about to have. And I did laugh when Billy said on his way out the door, "Enjoy the bubble bath, ladies." That sounded almost something like Jack would have said to Victor. So I enjoy the rivalry. I think it's funny. Nick and Adam then are kind of in the boat against Billy, and I like that it creates that dynamic. Nick and Adam just sort of went with it. They just treated Billy like he was a housefly buzzing around their heads. They didn't take it too seriously. But also, in that scene, it gave Nick an opportunity to actually defend Adam to Billy. Nick told Billy that Adam is making good on his actions, not just his promises. And I said, ding, 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 wait a minute. It sounds like Nikki's "who said it" quote from a couple of weeks ago is now coming true. Trust is earned by actions, not promises. Oh, well then now, Nikki, what are we going to do about the fact that Victor has lied to Adam about Chelsea? In the hospital, Chelsea is visited by 3 ghosts. The ghost of Christmas past, Victor, the ghost of Christmas present, Adam, and the ghost of Christmas future, Ray. I think that pretty well sums it up, right? Whatever. The net of those scenes is, finally, I think Chelsea is seeming to show some signs of realizing that what she has done is wrong, realizing that her lies are catching up with her, and deep down, I think Chelsea knows that she's right where she needs to be, in a mental hospital. And as soon as she actually opens herself up to getting some help, maybe things will get a little easier for her. Maybe she will come a little more likable. Maybe I can start to empathize with her again. Because right now, all my empathy goes to Adam. At Crimson Lights, Adam and Nick bumped into each other again. They had a nice little evening coffee chat. It went surprisingly well. Some might say a snowball formed in hell. But as I was watching that scene, 2 things occurred to me. Number 1, I realized something very important. Nick and Adam have 2 similar of hairstyles. They both looked like they just hopped out of the same barber's chair, and I can't have it. That's when it dawned on me, you guys. Adam needs to have long hair. Adam needs to grow his hair out. Take a moment and picture it with me. He needs to grow the hair out to about shoulder length, and that way he can really start to embody that sexy, wounded bad boy vibe. Long hair would also go really well with his teen vampire image. Because I don't want anybody to ever forget Adam is a teen vampire. I know we've come a long way on his redemption train, but I don't want to lose sight of the truth. Okay? But all right. So the other thing that dawned on me from watching that Nick and Adam coffee house scene is this. I hadn't fully thought of it this way before, but Adam's guilt about what happened with Chelsea is eating him alive. Adam feels responsible for driving Chelsea over the edge, and maybe he did, but not to the extent that he thinks. If Chelsea is faking any part of her insanity, then that's a part of Chelsea's insanity that Adam need not feel guilty for. So Adam is also now stuck in the position of dealing with the issue of Connor. Adam's cleaning up Chelsea's mess. Connor's going to be coming home from summer break, not knowing, anything about what's going on with his mom. And Adam doesn't know how to explain to Connor about what's going on with Chelsea's illness. Connor and Chelsea have been apart at this point for the better part of a year. First it was the stroke, then it was the paralysis, and now it's the institutionalization. So Adam has a big job on his hands. And I'm glad that Nick has been there for him. Nick tells Adam some pretty good advice that maybe he can just try a little bit of honesty with Connor. And maybe by helping his son, it'll help Adam work through the truth too. Only Adam doesn't really know the whole truth, does he? Nate thanks Elena for saving his life by asking her out to dinner, followed by asking her to the bedroom to show his gratitude. Oh, what a wonderful way to say thank you. That's how I would want it to be paid back. Oh. Elena and Nate had a nice long scene where they took the time to discuss their relationship and to be open about their current feelings. Nate insisted that he is capable of giving them a fresh start. And so Elena decided not to take the job in Baltimore. So Elena is staying in Genoa City, and she is staying in Nate's arms. All with the premise that things will be different this time. And I hope that things will be different this time. I think that Nate and Elena make a lovely couple. They're two of a kind. But so help me God. If Elena even looks at Devon in anything other than a pure and friendly way, I will barbecue her. I will smash her into a patty. I will season her with salt and pepper and garlic powder. And I will smack her down on the grill. And I will barbecue her until she is well done. Naya, Laya, pants on fire. That was so stupid. But Naya is a liar and her pants are on fire. So there's that. Okay, so Amanda's private investigator uncovered a phone call between Naya and Richard just days before Richard died. And with a log time of 5 minutes long, there was no way that that call was just a quick hang-up. 25-year-old phone records. That seems like so long ago. Do you suppose that was landline calls between them? There wouldn't have been any cell phones, or maybe it probably was a landline on their cordless phones. But didn't the Ames family have a caller ID box? I think that Naya knew Richard was calling, looked at the caller ID, knew it was him, and picked it up because she secretly loved him and doesn't want to admit it. But I'll get to that more later. Because I have to give Amanda the focus here. My heart just breaks for Amanda. Amanda confronted Naya with the information that she got immediately, and Naya admit that she had lied to her. Of course she lied. And these people only admit to their lies after they get caught. It's just nothing but lies being uncovered from Amanda's family. And I think Naya's still lying. Naya tells Amanda that, yes, Richard called her all those years ago, told her that he loved her, but it was more than she loved him. Richard also told Naya that he knew about the babies. That's right, babies, as in 2 of them. And so that means that Richard was only days away from finding Hillary and Amanda when he died. What a horrible realization, or maybe it's a speculation at this point, but what a horrible realization that it wasn't enough for the Ames family to just abandon Amanda and Hillary, shove them into who knows what kind of home situation. Hillary got lucky. She had a mother that loved her, but Amanda wound up in foster care, bouncing between who knows what kind of homes. But it wasn't enough for the Ames family to just get these 2 children out of the way. Someone had to kill their father too, just to stop them from having this secret come out. Why would someone need to kill the father too, just to stop the truth about their existence from ever coming out? I don't know. That's pretty evil. Well, Amanda realizes that if Naya had this information, she wouldn't have kept it to herself. She absolutely would have told Sutton everything, and right there gives Sutton the motive for having Richard killed. But I don't know. Something still doesn't seem right. Is that enough motive? Is a child out of wedlock in the 90s enough to destroy Sutton's political career? Would it be enough to make Sutton murder a man? I don't know. At the tail end of Friday's show, Imani marched into Devon's penthouse, and Imani declared that Amanda's hard questioning of Naya has driven Naya over the edge, so much so that she has turned herself in to the Genoa City Police Department, telling them that she's the one who was guilty of Richard's murder. So, a couple weeks ago, I would have thought, all right, well, Naya's just telling the truth. She finally cracked. She did it. Amanda's getting too close to the truth, so Naya decided to blow it up on her own. But, I don't know, maybe Naya is just covering for her father. Maybe Naya is just covering for Sutton, thinking that Amanda's getting too close to the actual truth, so she needs to sacrifice herself upon the altar of the Ames family political stranglehold. that doesn't seem satisfying or right either. The only way that this story can end well is if Amanda's father is alive, if he's been in hiding all this time. Maybe now that Naya's in jail, Amanda's father gets word that his true love, Naya, has been arrested for his murder, so he reappears to save her life, and then it's revealed that he and Naya were in love all along, but Sutton did everything in his power to keep them apart, including attempted murder, which is maybe what sent him into hiding, and then Sutton goes to jail, and then Amanda lives happily ever after with her mother and father. The end. Are you happy to see Stitch back on your screen, Y&R Chatters? Are you happy? Or is this kind of a dud for you? YRChat.com. That's our poll question for this week. Stitch is back. How do you feel about it? Oh! To be a fly on the wall around the writer's table. I think it went something like this. Guys, what can we do to buy us some time before we kill off Chance? I don't know. Maybe we could have Nina teach Abby how to cross-stitch? Oh, good. Yeah, good. Actually, that's a good idea. I'll write that down. We'll make that happen. Hey, speaking of cross-stitch, what about Stitch? Whatever happened to him? Can somebody get Sean Kerrigan on the phone? Maybe see if he'd be willing to come in and shoot a couple of episodes? Yeah, boss. He's available, actually. Oh, okay, good. In fact, I like where this is going. Let's remind the viewers of Abby's tragic love story with Stitch. Maybe doing some Stitch flashbacks, throwing some Stitch flashbacks in there will buy us some time. And yeah, let's lure everybody into a false sense of comfort with Stitch and then let him turn out to be the bad guy that Chance has been chasing. And then Chance can die protecting Abby from him. Ooh. As a matter of fact, let's say that Chance only took the secret agent job in the first place, only abandoned his wife during the baby-making process in the first place because it was suspected all along that Stitch was involved. And so Chance was afraid that Abby would be caught up into the middle of it. So he had to stay away. Chance had to stay away to try and keep Abby safe. Yeah, that's it, Emmy. Where's my Emmy? Where's the Emmy for writing? Oh, I don't know if that's how it went down. I mean, I don't know that, but what I do know is that Stitch's reemergence here is just another stitch in the Chance pants that we need to throw away. I do have some hope, though. I feel hopeful, though. First and foremost, I will say this. The writers are definitely working towards something. Thank goodness. There's signs everywhere. We're working towards something. I mean, they're hurrying it along. Mariah is looking very pregnant. She looks extra pregnant now. I feel like we're speeding toward it. And more hope. The shadowy figure from last Friday was quickly disappeared, and then it reappeared outside the window watching Abby. But Chris stopped by to give everybody the update that Chance is fine, and he's coming to the end of his mission. Chance is coming to the end of his mission, which to me says that we are coming to the end of this ridiculousness. Okay. I can handle that. I can deal with that. And if Stitch be in here to help facilitate that, okay. Stitch's presence right now is actually pretty relevant. I can live with it. Abby's miscarriage that she had with Stitch was caused by the uterine scar, or that was what caused the uterine scarring that leads her to where she is now. The breakup of Abby's marriage with Stitch is what made her so hesitant to become involved with Chance in the first place. It all fits. I will give it that. I will give it anything that it takes to believe that we are close to wrapping this up. On to more important topics. So how do we all feel about Mariah's marshmallow chips recipe? Let's get down to the nitty-gritty here. Potato chips dipped in marshmallow cream. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling it. I can totally understand the salty, sweet appeal. The crunchy, gooey texture might be a little weird. I don't know if goo and crunch necessarily would go together for that, but I want Mariah to know that I would totally try it alongside her, along with any other weird pregnancy cravings that she might have. And I thought, as a point of a little bit of fun this week, are there any other weird pregnancy cravings or even just food combinations that you guys have tried that you'd like to share this week? I would love to know. YRChat.com. Let me know if you have any weird food combos that we should try. I promise I won't yuck anyone's yum. I don't know what kind of magical powers you think I have. That was our Who Said It quote from last week. And I just thought it was such a funny moment coming from Tara, because there's just been so much speculation about her character and like what she could possibly be up to. And we as chatters have thrown everything under the sun at her. And to hear her say, I don't know what kind of magical powers you think I have, just delighted me. I just thought it was funny. A lot of you guys caught the line. It was Tina Cole, Henry, Sandra, Jamie, Heather K, Marianne V, Victoria, good old Marky, Juanita, Janice, Herman, TB84, Daisy, and Diana. You guys all guessed Tara. It's just more proof that everyone is hanging on her every word. I mean, I gotta say, the Amanda storyline really reached some good dramatic moments this week, but by far, all of the comments are about Summer and Tara. And I'll get to that next. But first, how about a new quote? I like this. Stay focused, stay safe, and finish the job. That seems like a good mantra. Stay focused, stay safe, and finish the job. Who said it? If you think you know, go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. All right, let's read some of your comments, starting out with a couple of cravings, a couple of pregnancy cravings or just general cravings from the crowd. Rachel says, I craved green bean juice when preggers. Green bean juice? Like a can of green beans, the juice that's inside of the can of green beans, or like you boiled off some green beans and like the juice? I'm curious about this one. I'm not gonna yuck your yum. I mean, it's definitely got the saltiness in there. I want to know more. Sharad says, I would stick with the old standard of pickles and ice cream, but then again, I just like that combo of salty and sweet. Do you really eat pickles and ice cream, Sharad? I've heard that before, and I almost thought maybe that was an urban legend, just a thing that people say. Do people actually eat pickles and ice cream? That is a bizarre one, but I would try it. I'm open. The only food combination that I've ever tried that was weirdly good, I was like 14 or 15 years old, and somehow I know I had a brand of bagel, like little mini bagels that I liked, and I had some ice cream, and they, I don't know, through the magic of Terra, the bagels and the ice cream came together, and it was delicious. But that's not even that weird, I guess. Bagels and ice cream is as weird as I get, but I can't wait to hear if you guys got anything more. Hey, Y&R viewer says, I'm so happy Marla Adams won an Emmy. The last time she was nominated, she was robbed, although Cameron Grimes was also great, but at that time, the storyline of Dina was at its peak. Also, I'm happy that Y&R won for Outstanding Writing Team. Olivia Allen Lynn should have won because she was great with the whole storyline involving Faith and her difficulties, but I guess she did not. Okay, so yes, I did look up the Daytime Emmy winners for 2021. Marla Adams won, and Y&R's writing team won. But that was it from Y&R. 2 wins. That seems a little bit low. I think next year is going to be an even better year, though. Seemed like General Hospital swept the awards this year. They had a lot of wins. Is General Hospital super good right now? Any GH fans out there will have to weigh in and let us know if that felt extra deserved. Well, let's talk about our stories, though. Ellen says, finally, Amanda is channeling her inner Hillary. Hillary would never have trusted these shady characters from the beginning. Who throws their grandchildren into foster care to further a political career? Shady low-life types, that's who. They had the money to raise those twins or to make sure they were adopted into a loving home together. Sutton watched them suffer from his comfortable mansion. Take him down, Amanda. Do it for yourself, for Hillary, and for your father. Yeah, and that's the other thing. If all of that does turn out to be true, and I mean, it is true. And Sutton watched them the whole time. Remember when Sutton said that he had been keeping an eye on Amanda all those years? Well, where was the eye when she was being pulled, in and out of different foster families that may or may not have been healthy for her? It's really unfortunate. It's really disgusting. And you do make a good point that, gosh, Amanda wanted so badly to just ignore the red flags if it meant that she was going to be able to find out who her family was and more about it. But the fact that they gave her away into foster care when they had the means to take care of her, that was the biggest red flag of all. And I do really feel for Amanda, though, because I think she thought that she was letting her head do the work here. I think she thought she was going to just take this case and then prove herself and then tell them all to go screw themselves if she wanted to. What she didn't count on was the fact that her heart would become so involved, that she would see the picture of her father, that she would begin to want to know him. And as she learned that he wanted to get to know her, it just became even more difficult for her. I think that the only way that this story is going to have any kind of satisfying end is if we find out that Amanda's father is alive and well, and maybe she can be reunited with him. Time will tell. Let's switch gears over to last week's poll question. I asked you guys, Ashland and Victoria, hot or not on the deathbed romance? 64% of you say Ashland and Victoria are definitely hot. 36% of you say not. Sue W says, I love these two together. As written, they seem to be a delicious match, both personally and professionally. But I'm leaning more and more to believe that Ashland is playing her. The 6 months to live is a lie, and the Locks are in this together to take over the world, or at least Genoa City. Ashland can infiltrate the Newmans while Tara infiltrates the Abbotts. And whether Victoria and Ashland make a real love connection through all of that will remain to be seen, but it certainly could happen. Southside Granny says, my romance with Ashland is hot. Darn it. I mean, Victoria's? You sound like me and Nate, Southside Granny. Just placing yourself right into the story, just like I do. You're right on board. I love it. Samuel says, I like Victoria with Ashland. That way she can stop obsessing over Billy. Now Billy's doing the obsessing. And Diana says, I'm convinced that Ashland was always planning to woo Victoria because he has something up his sleeve where she is concerned. This would explain why Ashland was already asking Victoria out to dinner when they first met, before he and Tara even separated. That's true, Diana. Ashland could have had his sights set on Victoria way back to then. True. Victoria says, I found the conversation that Ashland had with Harrison somewhat odd. His conversation was influencing Harrison to like winners and mentioning that he ate a cookie very quickly as a measure of its tastiness. This conversation did not lead me to believe that Ashland is great with Harrison. Hollow Tara speaks more kindly to Harrison with her measured speaking voice, which always borders on too much sweetness. And Sherrod says, at this point, I'm beginning to question if Harrison is actually the Locks' child. I'm wondering if they are using him as a prop in their game of play acting. Ooh, Sherrod. Could Harrison be the brother's kid? Tara's brother's kid? Maybe the brother's searching for her to get him back? Ooh, I like that idea that Harrison's not even her kid. Kirsten says, could Stitch be Tara's estranged brother? Oh, could Stitch be Tara's estranged brother? Well, I think that's an interesting idea for a twist. Let's see. Stitch did have a sister, right? Her name was Kelly. And Tara did say that it was just her and her brother, but Kelly's gone. I mean, it definitely could work. It could work. I think so. Let's talk about this theory from Diana, who says, did it cross anyone else's mind that maybe Tara killed her parents, but it was never proven? Could it be the reason that could that be the reason that Tara and her brother are estranged? It's a little odd that Tara is so young and both of her parents are passed away. Not that she has to be older in order for that to happen, but is it possible that Tara thought she would get money from her parents' life insurance policies? We've been given a few clues that Tara loves living the high life. Ashland alluded to this when he spoke about Tara having lived a great life with his money. Summer also hinted that Tara is a gold digger. Summer told Tara that she wanted Kyle because he was rich, just like Ashland. Ooh, I like that idea that Tara could have killed the parents. Where is Y&R going with Tara's family? Can't wait to find out, but it feels like the key to something. Well, Gary says it is unforgivable to the character of Summer that she is too dumb to know that she holds all the power in the Tara Lock caper. bowing out for the love of Kyle? What about saving Kyle and the little boy from a woman so treacherous that she would snatch her child from not one but two fathers? Oh, Gary, this is a popular sentiment this week. Everybody is saying, what is Summer thinking? It's totally unbelievable that she's just giving in like this, but you're taking that sentiment to a very interesting higher level here by saying that Summer is bowing out when Summer actually has the power here. Summer could be the one to save Kyle, to save the child from the evil Tara. Yes, now that is a really good, strong point. Tara has everyone fooled. Victoria says, I am embarrassed for Jack and Kyle. They're lapping up Tara's lies as if it's the sweetest cream ever. I must admit, I love hating Tara. Y&R is doing a fantastic job of getting all of us chatters riled up. Keep up the drama. And Sue W. says, the Tara character is a riot. Buttering up any given Abbott 1 minute and then baring her teeth to Summer or Phyllis the next. And both acts seem equally effortless for her. Ooh, yes, good. I love the way you phrase that. She is buttering up the Abbotts 1 minute, baring her teeth to Summer or Phyllis the next, and both acts seem equally effortless to her. So good. Erlene says, I wish that Jack would hear about this and find out about Sally's intrusion into his family too. It's just ludicrous that Tara turned into this type of person. I do give you that too. Tara did flip quick, and it really took very little probing by Sally, but Sally's got to come into play here also somewhere. Tara's the villain, but meanwhile, Sally's over here who facilitated the plan, the plot. I mean, Sally is in just as deep as Tara, and she's gonna get found out too. We know it. Lara says, I just have to say how much I love the villainy of Sally and Tara. They are scheming to wreck the life of another young woman, someone they should definitely befriend and support, but that makes it all the more evil. But yeah, I can't get enough of it. That's the thing. They're doing very bad things. They're very bad girls being mean to another girl, but boy, it is delicious. Tina Cole says, I know this could be a bit far-fetched, but what if Lauren offers Tara Summers' position at JCV, and then Sally now has Tara in her way? I just wonder if Sally and Tara will be put into a position that they will now have to become each other's problem. I would find it funny if Lauren just hired someone else and doesn't even consider Sally for the JCV position. Yeah! Ooh! Tina Cole, you have got a point. Ooh, man, something has to happen to pit Tara and Sally against each other. And that is the perfect way to do it. Give Tara the job that Sally has gone through all of this trouble to get. Oh, Superplex has a good prediction here. Ashland announces a miracle cure, takes over Newman Enterprises, and Daddy Victor will not be pleased. He gives Victoria the boot, and then the world rejoices. Ooh, Superplex, so backing it up. Okay, so a lot of us are getting this sort of suspicious vibe off of Ashland. 6 months to live. Maybe he knew Victoria was going to try to prey on his weakness. Maybe he knew Victoria was going to suggest a merger, or maybe he was going to suggest it, but it just worked out to his benefit that she was the one who struck first. Maybe Ashland wants this merger so that he can then take over Newman Enterprises. Yes! Wow, that would be quite a twist. But it would leave Victoria with egg all over her face once again. Gosh, if that's the way this is going, that's genius. If all of this is Ashland's plan to take over Newman Enterprises, yes. so good. Y&R, I don't know if they just won an Emmy for writing, and I don't know if that applies to last year or this year or what, but I will say the writing here has been so good. They have earned an Emmy in my mind, and I just think that the characters of both Tara and Ashland have been so well folded into the show to challenge our main characters and give us the drama that we seek, giving us the drama from someone new. Let somebody else do the dirty deed, somebody we haven't known for 25 years. This has been a really, really great twist and turn. Allison K says, has anyone else noticed the switch in Victoria and Tara's outfits? When Tara first entered the scene, she only wore white. Now that the dynamic has shifted, Tara has been in dark-colored outfits, and Victoria has worn only white. Today marks day 3 of Victoria being in an all-white outfit. Clever indeed, Y&R writers. Clever indeed, Allison K. I didn't notice. I noticed Victoria in the white. I always notice the white. But the fact that you mentioned that now Tara is visually turned to black, yes. And you can bet that is with intention. Oh, let's talk about Stitch and Chance. Astra says, okay, so it's hard for me to buy into the narrative of budget issues for getting rid of characters in the middle of storylines like Chance and Theo. When they bring back Stitch, who nobody asked for. Don't get me wrong, I liked Stitch before they paired him with Abby, but I don't see why they would bring him back of all people. If they're gonna go the route of he and Abby getting back together, then count me out. Yes, Astra. I can't say that I was like, ooh, Stitch, he's the greatest. Stitch was fine. He was a nice guy. There was kind of that weird triangle with Ashley going on. I kind of wanted him more to be with Ashley. But yeah, Stitch doesn't move me. If I had to pick someone to come back, it certainly would not be Stitch. But I'm okay with it because I think it's a signal that Y&R's working us in any direction. We're just going somewhere, and that's okay by me. Sandra says, let's just agree that Y&R once again wrote themselves into a corner like they did with Dina's diagnosis when it comes to the whole baby surrogate storyline. I think they'd be hard-pressed to find a fan base for this mess. Having Stitch return in lieu of Chance, presumed dead to return at a much later date, could help solve some awkwardness. Then Devon could sue for joint custody because he's the baby's father and is engaged in the surrogacy for Chance and Abby, not Stitch and Abby. There's lots of drama to be had there. Yeah, I think that's what it is, Sandra. It's once again, it's clear. Stitch is there to fill a gap. I don't know how long he's going to be around, but the fact that we have this whole shadowy figure, and Christine told us that Chance's mission is coming to an end, tells me that Stitch is there for a purpose, not to just be hanging out and chitty-chatting with Abby. And if I had to guess, I feel like they're going to have to kill Chance at the end of this. They have to find a way to kill Chance, but they have to do it with the most dramatic impact. And Superplex has a prediction here, but saying Sweeps Month is only 11 days away. How much are you willing to bet that we will see Chance return to save the day, to save Abby from her kidnappers? Oh, so yes, we're building to something here. Is it Sweeps Month? Oh gosh, what the heck? July? Is there a July Sweeps? I never know. I always forget. But the show is getting good right now, so I believe it. But yeah, I think they're leading toward showing us whatever the end of Chance's big mystery mission is, and I think that Stitch is involved. My guess would be that Stitch is involved. But this is a good prediction too, that maybe Chance will save Abby, and maybe he'll just come back as Justin Gaston. They probably wouldn't need to do a casting call if they were going to do that. Y&R viewer thinks that Stitch could be the one spying on Abby, although that's kind of creepy. Stitch could be involved with whatever's happening to Chance, so maybe Chance told Stitch that he should watch over Abby. Let's see what happens. Okay, so you think that Stitch is in involved kind of in the Chance thing, but it was more Chance telling Stitch to watch over Abby. Boy, Chance does tell everybody to watch over Abby. I mean, he's sending the manila envelope to Devon, telling him to do what's best for Abby, so it certainly would be on brand for Ghost Chance. Tony says maybe the mansion lurker is Max. The child, the evil seed child who's got the problems. I mean, that was brought up this week too, so that's certainly possible. You never know. It's gotta be something. I mean, at the end of the day, as Astra said, it probably didn't have a darn thing to do with budgets that they ended up letting Donnie go. Donnie go. I think that at the end of the day, it was some sort of personal rigmarole or whatever's behind the scenes. Something happened with the guy. They wanted to get rid of him. Maybe they saw him as a liability in one way or another. Maybe they just didn't like him, but they wanted to can him. They wanted to get rid of him, and they said, screw it, we'll deal with it later. And now is later, and nobody has really dealt with it. Nobody, they happen to be in a pregnancy storyline, which is like the one type of storyline that you really can't just pull out of. You've got, I mean, I guess if they did a miscarriage, they could, but the baby is like a legacy baby. This baby has all the genetics of everyone, so they couldn't really pull out of it. So Sandra is right. They wrote themselves into a corner with this one, and now I think they're desperately trying to find their way out. What did Danny the Donnie Bose do that was so bad that got him thrown off the show? That's the question. Well, Gary has a little anecdote for us from the Danny Donnie camp. Gary says, chats, I have possibly reached beyond the grave to touch greatness. Here's the deal. Early in the week on Facebook, Y&R did a post for the show with a picture of Summer at the crossroads for this week. What will Summer do? Read the caption. I do not make comments on Y&R advertisements should I see them, but this one annoyed me so much because it was so obvious to everyone what would happen. Then I angrily huffed off. We know exactly what Summer will do. She will tuck her tail between her legs and leave town in a complete brain transplant. Blah, blah, blah. You've heard it all from me before. So this morning I happened to fall upon my Facebook notifications and spot this. Donnie Bose likes your comment. I think it's supposed to be Danny. Can you believe it, though? Chance Chancellor likes my comment. And then I blew up his photo just to make sure it was him, and my remark doesn't even pertain to his story. He gets fired, but remains so big a person that he's not above fanning on the show. And to think Allie wished him dead at the beginning of last week's Y&R Chat. No, I now love Donnie Danny, and I'm setting to work to get him brought back onto the show just in time for his baby's birth. Does anyone have any ideas on what my first step might be, and who will step forth to sign my petition to bring back the one and only original? Donnie plus Abby forever. Signed, Gary. Gary the legend. Oh, Lord, you're right. I did wish they would just kill him. I wish they would have kept Danny. I don't know what the behind the scenes thing was. Maybe he did something. I don't know. I don't know him from anybody else, so I can't speak to if he's a good guy or a bad guy. I was enjoying his portrayal of the character, though. And if he's not going to be on it, or if they're just not going to recast him, then yeah, I wish they would recast the character, or just get rid of the character. But I do think it's very funny that Danny the Donnie Bose is still lurking on Y&R comments. And what that tells me is that he is probably really ticked off about what happened to him. And there's a part of him lurking around still with like unresolved feelings about the fact that he got canned from the show when they cut his contract. He had like a 2-year new contract or something, and they said, nope, see ya. So he's probably still got some sour grapes on what happened to him, and here he is lurking on Facebook wanting to see what the fans are saying. Is anybody complaining about the lack of chance? Is anybody still talking about me? And then he happens upon old Gary's comment and says, oh, I'm gonna give that a like and just make sure that my presence is still still relevant. Maybe he even suspected, Gary, that you were the Y&R Chat, Gary. And to bring this full circle to me, he was probably just hoping to get a mention on this week's Y&R Chat. So there you go. Success, Donnie the Danny Bose. You got your new mention on Y&R Chat this week. Congrats, you're back into relevancy on Y&R. Donnie and Abby forever. Fine, if they just want to bring on Justin Gaston, fine, then just do it. That would be fine. I would say I told you so, but whatever, it would be something. We're getting there, though. We're getting there. I'm going to pull this airplane out of the nosedive and soar back up to the sky and tell you guys that we are getting there. They're doing something. I don't know what it is, but it's going to get better. It gets better. It has to. Well, I would say that does it for me for this week. I think I got it all out. If there's anything that you'd like to get out, you could go to Facebook and you might possibly get a thumbs up from Danny the Donnie Bose. Or you could go to yrchat.com to leave your comments where no Y&R celebrities will thumb up your comments or interact with you in any way. Just want you to be aware of that. There will be no star sightings at yrchat.com, but there's no reason that you can't just still chat with other normies like me and everybody, all the other chatters there. We're just a group of normies chatting about the show. Join us, won't you? And join me next week for another Y&R Chats. I do so love this. I do so love you, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye.